In this video, we're going to get introduced to the structure of a website. This means that we're going to be covering the main components that build up the skeleton of a web page. So first, I'm going to open Google Chrome, and then we're going to go to the Wikipedia homepage. Click right and go to Inspect Elements. So we see here on the left-hand side is the Wikipedia homepage, and on the right-hand side you can see the actual HTML code behind the web page. So the way it works is when you type the address of the website, there is a request that's sent to the server where this website lives. And then if the request is successful, it's going to send this HTML code that's going to get downloaded by your computer. And then the web browser, in our case Google Chrome, is going to read this code and then interpret it, and it will render the web page accordingly. Okay, so that's how it works. So now we're going to go through this HTML code line by line and just understand its structure. So first of all, we've got a doc type or document type, which is just telling the browser what document type our web page is. And in our case, it's HTML, which refers to HTML5. There are other document types, but in our course, we're going to work mainly with HTML5, the latest HTML as we're speaking now. Okay? And then moving on to the next line, we've got an HTML element. So if you go through the details here, we've got an open brackets, and then HTML, and we've got a closed brackets there, and in between we've got some other text. So this HTML between two brackets is what we call a tag. Okay? If you go a little bit further, there will be another tag. Okay, HTML between two brackets, that's another tag, but this one has got a / in it. So this first one is what we call an open tag, and the second one is what we call a closed tag. As a general rule, any tag you open like that, you would need to close like that. Okay, and just before the end of the open tag, this text is adding some properties to our tag. As an example, we've got a language property or a language attribute, which is just setting the language to multiple. As you can see, the Wikipedia homepage indeed has got multiple languages in it. Okay, so the HTML element starts there and ends there. And it tells the browser that our web page starts here and ends there. Okay. All right. So inside the HTML elements, we've got other elements nested in it. And we've got a head element and a body element. So let's start with the head elements. So if we expand it, we can see other elements inside it. Okay. So first of all, you'll notice an open tag and a closed tag. And let's go through the contents of these head elements line by line. So first of all, we've got a comment. Comments are used by developers to make their code more readable. They can be used by yourself or by any other developer to see the structure of the code. Okay. All right. So moving on to the next one, we've got a meta elements or metadata. So metadata is some machine parsable data. It doesn't appear on the web page, but it will add some extra information to the browser so that it can render the page in a proper way. So this metadata, for example, is a character set, which is just setting the character encoding of our page to UTF-8. By the way, UTF-8 includes almost all the symbols and characters in the world, and this is going to be the character sets we're going to be using for all our websites in this course. Okay, you'll notice that this tag or this element doesn't have a closed tag. We've got only an open tag, and that's what we call a self-enclosing tag. Okay. All right, moving on, we've got a title, open tag, closed tag, and the title is Wikipedia. And it's exactly the title you see at the top here of your tab. And also, if you want to add this page to your favorites, this title is going to be suggested to you. You can change it, of course. All right. Okay. So then we've got another comment, and then we've got another meta element. It's a viewport. So the viewport is used by the browser to render your web page in different device sizes. Okay. So the browser is going to use the properties you add here for your viewport. So as an example, we've got user scalable equals yes, meaning that we're allowing the user to zoom in and zoom out. And you can test that if you want to zoom in or zoom out. You can see that you can do that. Okay. And then we've got link elements after that. So link elements, they are used to link your web page to external resources. So it's allowing the web browser to use these external resources for various purposes. So as an example, this link here, this link element is linking the browser to a style sheet, which is going to be used for decoration purposes. Okay, so it's going to be used to style your page and have the decoration you want for it. Okay, and then we've got a style element, and it's got a type here of text CSS. So if you open it, you will see that we've got some code in it, and this code is just styling your web page as well. Okay, and we're going to cover this in detail in the CSS chapter of this course. Okay, so that's it, and then we've got a comment, and that's it. So that's it for the head elements. So to summarize, the head usually will contain various bits of information which are going to be used by the web browser for different purposes. Styling, for example, adding a title to your page, and so on. And then we move on to the body element. So the body is everything that you see on the page. Everything that appears there is going to be in the body. So if we expand it, you will notice that when we hover on any of these elements, you will see the corresponding elements on the page being highlighted. Okay. So as an example, if you hover on this first one, this is an H1 or a heading, okay, which is equivalent to a big title. So when we hover on that, you can see the Wikipedia header being highlighted. And then if we expand it, inside this heading, we've got an image, and that's the image we're talking about. All right. Let's go to another one. Let's go to this division. Okay, div for division. So if we expand it, we'll see that we've got other divisions in it. As an example, this is a division, this one. So if we expand it, we're going to find a link inside the division. So a tag for a link, and that's the reference of the link. If you click on it, it will take you somewhere. And if we expand the link, we'll find some other elements inside the link. So we've got some text there, some other text there, and then some other text. So this text here is surrounded by these tags, strong, which are just making the text look bold. And this one is surrounded by the EM tags, which are just adding some emphasis to the text. And the last one is surrounded by the small tags, which are just making the text look smaller than anything else. And between each of these, you have a line break, BR for line break. Okay. So that's a quick introduction to the structure of a web page. In the next video, we're going to build our very first web page.